Caught in the crossfire. It's caught in the
Top 10 Best Crime Bosses in Cinema History. Hello everyone, a very good day to you all. In this video we're going to be taking a look at some of the best crime bosses in the cinema world. We all know that villains are essential in every hero's story. They spice up the plot, and also pushes the heroes to their limit. So every villains are very much needed in a hero's story. That's why today we're going to be looking at the best crime bosses in movie history. Some of these characters came with so much intrigue that we placed them on a love-to-hate relationship. With that said, let's get nerdy. Paulie Cicero is the anti-villainous overarching antagonist of the 1990 film Goodfellas. He is based on the late real-life mob boss Paul Vario. He was portrayed by Paul Sorvino. Paulie Cicero first appeared as the local crime boss of the neighborhood where a young resident named Henry Hill lives in. Henry is enamored by the criminal lifestyle and mafia presence of Paulie and his fellow mobsters of the late Casey crime family. As the years go on, Henry begins working for Paulie and his enforcer Jimmy Conway for multiple criminal jobs. Henry would later proceed to do so personal errands with Jimmy and their associate Tommy DeVito. Frank Costello was an Irish-American boss mobster, and he is the main antagonist of the 2006 live-action movie The Departed. Costello plays the role of father figure to Colin Sullivan and Billy Costigan. He was portrayed by Jack Nicholson. Frank Costello grew up from an Irish Catholic family in the Irish neighborhood of South Boston, at a time when Irish immigrants were hated in America. At an unspecified point in his history when Costello became his wife, Costello met Arnold French, who became his right-hand man and close friend. He became the boss of his own mafia organization, with predominantly Irish-American members. Nucky Thompson is the protagonist of the HBO TV series Boardwalk Empire. He was portrayed by Steve Buscemi. Nucky is loosely based on former Atlantic City, New Jersey political figure Enoch Lewis Nucky Johnson. Nucky is a corrupt Republican politician and crime boss. He begins the series as the treasurer of Atlantic County, New Jersey. Nucky, following in the steps of his predecessor and mentor, Louis Kastner, is the boss of a political and criminal organization that controls every business, whether legal or illegal, and aspect of life in Atlantic City. Nevertheless, the shrewd and charming Nucky is as beloved by the people of Atlantic City as he can be. Antonio Tony Montana is the titular villainous main protagonist of the 1983 epic crime drama film Scarface, which is a loose remake of the 1932 film of the same name. Once a humble refugee from Cuba, Tony Montana eventually climbed the ranks of the criminal underworld to become one of the most powerful drug kingpins in Miami, and he himself is arguably one of the most iconic villains in all of film history. Wanting to build a criminal career, he initially worked for drug lord Frank Lopez and fell in love with the latter's girlfriend Elvira Hancock. Years later, Tony killed Frank and absorbed all his powers. In the film, he was portrayed by Al Pacino. Our number 5 goes to Frank Lucas. Frank Lucas was an American drug trafficker who operated in Harlem, New York City during the late 1960s and early 1970s. Frank Lucas, a real-life gangster from Harlem who smuggled heroin into the United States on American service planes returning from the Vietnam War. Richie Roberts, a detective attempting to bring down Lucas' drug empire. He was known for cutting out middlemen in the drug trade and buying heroin directly from his source in the Golden Triangle in Southeast Asia. However, in the film's ending, Frank was eventually arrested and prosecuted. Thomas Egan is the deuteragonist and Ghost's right hand in the TV series Power. He was portrayed by Joseph Sikora. He served as a tritagonist in season 1 to 4, a deuteragonist turned final antagonist in season 5 and one of the two main protagonists in season 6. Tommy is very well known in the criminal organization, and he is a major drug trafficker with his business partner and best friend James Ghost St. Patrick. They own a nightclub called Truth, which they use for laundering money. All throughout the series, Tommy Egan has committed over 10 murders and has more than 15 murders connected to him. Don Vito Corleone was the founder and Don of the Corleone family. Vito was born in the small Sicilian village of Corleone to Antonio Andolini and Signora Andolini. When Vito was 10, his father was murdered by a Sicilian mafia boss named Don Ciccio because he refused to pay tribute to him. Soon after, his mother was shot dead. With no more family left in Sicily, Vito ran and sought refuge in America. Later in America, after a series of boring and menial jobs, Vito Corleone started making money robbing stores and homes, and soon established himself in the little Italian community in America. Over the years, Vito returned home and established the Corleone family. Raymond Redington is a main character in the NBC series The Blacklist. Redington is a criminal mastermind, making it to number 4 and later to number 1 on the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives, who suddenly turns himself in after 20+ years of evading the FBI. Raymond Redington is a highly intelligent, highly driven individual with developed sociopathic tendencies. This appears to be the product of PTSD, as there are no signs that he was born this way. Sly, manipulative, and charming, Red is always 3 steps ahead of everyone else, and is determined to keep himself a mystery. Red does not believe he's a psychopath. In his eyes, what he's done in the criminal world is all an effect of the murder of his family. He turned his back on his country and his career because somehow they were responsible for the elimination of his family. He functions with his own set of morals that most of society probably wouldn't agree with. Thomas Michael Shelby is the leader of the Birmingham criminal gang, the Peaky Blinders. He's also the patriarch of the Shelby family. Thomas served in World War I with the rank of Sergeant Major and was decorated for bravery, though he dumped them in a canal after returning from the war. His experiences in World War I left him disillusioned and beset with ongoing nightmares, and he becomes determined to move his family up in the world so that the powers who had always mistreated them could no longer touch them. After the vendetta with the New York Mafia, and during the year of the Wall Street crash, Thomas Shelby became a member of the Parliament as a member of the Labour Party, while lending the chair of the legal business to his older brother, Arthur Shelby. And I'm leaving the number 1 position open to you nerdies. Who do you think deserves the number 1 position? Let me know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. As always, thanks for watching. Bye for now.